And now I'm going to make Amanda the host. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Becca. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here for Loveland. We're super excited to have Amanda and Liesl joining us from APD to talk about services and that APD provides and how you get funding.
Awesome. Thank you. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Oops. All right. Awesome. Thank you for joining this evening. And for those of you who are watching later on, my name is Amanda Ingrassia, and I'll have Liesl introduce herself first, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Liesl Ramos, and I'm privileged to serve as the Bureau Chief of Client Support and Community Services at the Agency for Persons with Disabilities. Our Bureau oversees our application and intake and eligibility determination unit, our employment supports, our customer service, and our Hope Florida for the agency. We're delighted to be here tonight and look forward to receiving any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Liesl. As I said before, I'm excited to be here, and my name is Amanda Ingrassia. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and prior to joining APD, I worked in community mental health as an outpatient therapist and also worked in Baker Act receiving facilities as a Baker Act coordinator. And I loved working in these roles alongside other folks in administrative roles, the courts, attorneys, and other medical professionals. And that role really led me to my love for policy and to APD, where I could combine my skills. So I'm happy to be here. On the screen is our overview. These are the topics that we're going to cover tonight. We will give an overview of the agency. We'll go over our application and eligibility determination process, talk about our pre-enrollment priority categories, the iBudget Florida waiver enrollment and services, Consumer Directed Care Plus, Individual and Family Supports, or IFS, the Unique Abilities Partner Program, Hope Florida, and some questions and answers. Okay. So the agency's mission is to support individuals with unique abilities and their families in living, learning, and working within their communities by creating multiple pathways to possibilities. APD is committed to increasing opportunities to serve individuals and their families at the earliest moment possible. The iBudget Florida waiver is APD's most traditional and recognized pathway to serve individuals with developmental disabilities. The iBudget Florida waiver is a home and community-based services Medicaid waiver program that provides a variety of social, medical, behavioral, therapeutic, and residential services to individuals in community-based settings that would otherwise require services in an institutional setting like an intermediate care facility. APD has the privilege to serve over 60,000 Floridians with developmental disabilities who are eligible for APD services as outlined in our Florida statutes. And currently, about 36,000 individuals are enrolled on the iBudget Florida waiver program. That was a little bit about the agency. Now, how do we determine eligibility? How do people apply? The APD application for services is currently available through a secure online system that was launched in December 2024. And the application for services is also available via paper. And we have translated versions in Spanish and Haitian Creole, which are on our website. And the online application system can also be accessed through our apdcares.org website. The online application system allows applicants to upload documentation to support their application. So afterwards, individuals in pre-enrollment and those applying for services, sorry, let me restate that. We recently also launched our crisis online application where at the time of application, individuals can also request a crisis review. And individuals who are already in pre-enrollment and eligible for services can also request that review as well. And this was just launched in right about a month ago in December of 2025. If you are filling out the application for yourself or helping someone with the application process, the most important thing that you can focus on when filling out the application is making sure that you have all of the information that you have available and submit it to help bolster and support the diagnosis that you're seeking eligibility under. We want to make sure we have as comprehensive information as possible. So you want to make sure that you have the documentation ready to go when you submit the application. And this really helps make the application process as seamless as possible. There are 3 things that will enable the application process to go smoothly. One of them is submitting a complete and signed application. The other is ensuring that documentation of identity and Florida domicile is included. We need to verify that applicants are who they say they are. Same thing for those helping apply, and that we're able to verify that the applicant is domiciled in the state of Florida. The last thing is we need to ensure that documentation of the developmental disability prior to the age of 18 is also included. An application may be accepted from a parent or court-appointed guardian of a minor child, a legally competent adult, or an authorized legal representative in order for APD to accept the application. In order for APD to accept an application, it must be signed by the person legally responsible for the applicant. We also have the quick guide applying for APD services. I think we'll probably end up sharing some information after this meeting, some resources we have. So I'll provide a link to our quick guide. It's a tool that we developed that's on our website where it outlines very specifically what diagnosis the person's applying under, what documentation is needed, and from what licensed provider we can accept the diagnosis from. So I'll provide that information at the end of the call to share as a resource. The agency serves individuals who have a confirmed diagnosis of one of the 7 developmental disabilities as defined in Chapter 393 of Florida statutes. These disabilities are intellectual disability, which is evidenced by an IQ of 70 or below, and significant deficits in adaptive functioning, which is manifested prior to the age of 18 and expected to continue indefinitely. 2 severe forms of autism, which is pervasive, neurologically based, with the age of onset during infancy or childhood, with extended duration that causes severe communication and behavior disorders. The agency also serves individuals who have cerebral palsy, spina bifida, Prader-Willi syndrome, Phelan-McDermid syndrome, and Down syndrome. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, the 3 main things that the agency is looking for is that the applicant is at least 3 years of age or older, that they're domiciled in Florida, and that they have a confirmed diagnosis of a developmental disability as defined in a rule and statute. And on the previous slide, when I was talking about the application process, the agency is looking at a variety of records to get a picture of the applicant. So we're looking at IEPs, any collateral documentation from therapies, behavioral therapies, doctor's progress notes, any evaluations, any psychological evaluations they've had, to show what the lifespan of the person has looked like throughout their developmental period. And we have applicants who apply right when they turn 3 up until probably in their 80s. I've definitely seen 60s, but we will take an application from any age over 3. And the main thing we're looking at is documentation from the developmental period, but we do consider the totality of the information received. So we do really look application by application to see what information we have available and how we can apply it to the rule and statute to it. Um, in an effort to help families and applicants prepare all the necessary information prior to submitting an application for services, the agency developed a document called the Quick Guide Applying for APD Services, which is available on our website at apdcares.org. And this document provides the information needed to show proof of identity and domicile verification. It also specifies by disability the types of documents needed to show proof of a disability prior to the age of 18. And during the application process, APD will also work with individuals to provide proof of their identity. The agency has access to different systems that we're able to pull certain information to try to limit some of the documents that that people are submitting. We're really trying to streamline our process. However, if we are unable to verify that information, we may ask for additional documentation if we are unable to obtain it. All right, I'll turn it over to you, Liesl.
Thank you. Yeah, so Amanda has given you an introduction, how to apply for APD services. Now I'd like to talk about what happens after an individual is determined eligible for APD services. And for those who are eligible and are seeking iBudget waiver services, they will be assigned a pre-enrollment category based on statutory criteria. Individuals served in pre-enrollment categories are broken into priority groups based on their individual circumstances, as defined in Chapter 393 of Florida statutes. As you can see on this slide, there are 7 categories with different criteria for each. The pre-enrollment categories are listed from the highest priority to the lowest. Category 1 is the highest, and it's for individuals who meet the crisis criteria. Category 7 is the lowest priority. For Category 1, this is for individuals who are either homeless, whose behaviors pose a danger to themselves or others, or their caregiver is unable to provide care. Category 2 is designed specifically for children in the child welfare system or children who are in foster care at the time of achieving permanency or turning 18 years of age. So when children are either adopted or reunified or permanently placed with a family member or someone, that constitutes the criteria for Category 2. Category 3 includes individuals who have intense needs. Category 4 is for individuals with aging caregivers, and our statute specifies that this is for individuals whose primary caregivers are 60 years of age or older, and for whom a caregiver is needed. Category 5 is for individuals who are transitioning out of the school system into adulthood and who might need help obtaining services to remain in the community, such as adult day training types of services, employment, companion, and those types of services. Category 6 includes individuals who are ages 21 and older who do not meet the criteria for agency for another category. And Category 7 are individuals that are under the age of 21 and do not meet the criteria for another category. Now, individual circumstances can change over time, and people are dynamic. As such, through life's different milestones and transitions, the priority categories are fluid due to individuals changing every day. The statute also requires the agency to send an annual letter to individuals in pre-enrollment categories, and during this check-in, the agency verifies contact information, provides information on resources, and also provides an opportunity for the individual and family to identify if they have unmet needs or changes. In addition to that, if an individual who is in any category other than category one feels that their circumstances have changed and they are in crisis, that's a good opportunity for them to relay that information to the agency. Okay, next slide, please. The individual and family supports is a funding source that the agency has available to individuals who are in pre-enrollment. We call this IFS. So IFS is a supplemental funding stream made up of social services block grant and general revenue. These funds are intended to help mostly individuals in pre-enrollment who may need temporary assistance to meet their critical needs. For example, an individual may need respite services during a brief absence of the caregiver. Another example includes addressing one-time equipment needs. IFS is supplemental funding stream made up of social services block grant and general revenue funds. These funds, again, are intended to help those in pre-enrollment. However, it may also be used to assist individuals on the waiver who, at the time that additional funding is being requested through the waiver, may need some supplemental funding just for on a temporary basis. Next slide, please. Enrollment onto the iBudget waiver is based on funding availability and also certain carve-outs identified in Florida statutes. APD is able to offer waiver enrollment to eligible individuals who are in crisis situations. So if an individual, if their circumstances have changed and they're all of a sudden homeless, they're a danger to themselves or others, or their caregiver is unable to provide care due to some unusual circumstances, illness, or they're aging caregivers, and they meet the criteria for category one, they can go immediately into the iBudget waiver services as long as they meet they have access to Medicaid Title 19 or SSI. APD can also offer immediate enrollment for eligible children in foster care, again, at the time that they reach permanency or when they turn 18 years of age. There's also additional funding provided by the Florida legislature that allows APD to offer iBudget Florida waiver services on any given year. This funding is not always available, but we have been very fortunate to have additional funding in the last couple of years, and we have been able to issue additional offer letters to individuals in categories 3, 4, and 5, and including those whose caregivers are aging or are 60 years of age or older. In addition to that, the 2014 Florida legislature authorized individuals who meet the APD eligibility requirements to receive home and community-based services in this state if the individual's parent or legal guardian is an active duty military service member who transferred to the state of Florida and who at the time of their parents' transfer, the individual received home and community-based services in the state they transferred from. We also are committed to transitioning individuals who have chosen to move into the community from intermediate care facilities for individuals with intellectual disabilities or from skilled nursing facilities. These individuals receive annual choice counseling, and through that choice counseling, they may select community-based services, and we're committed to helping them in transitioning into the community. And lastly, individuals who have a confirmed diagnosis of Phelan-McDermid syndrome also can immediately enroll on the iBudget waiver. Next slide. So like Amanda mentioned earlier, APD's most recognized and traditional pathway for the provision of services and supports is through the home and community-based Medicaid waiver called the iBudget Florida waiver. The iBudget waiver provides home and community-based supports and services to eligible persons with developmental disabilities living at home or a home-like setting, such as a small group home, supported living, or independent living. The iBudget waiver program is funded by both federal and matching state dollars. Individuals enrolled in the iBudget waiver should receive services that enable them to have a safe place to live, have a meaningful day activity such as employment or adult day training or companion services, receive medically necessary supplies and equipment, and receive transportation required to access those necessary waiver services that have been authorized and as determined as being medically necessary. Okay. Next slide. The Consumer Directed Care Plus program it's offered to individuals who participate in the iBudget Florida waiver. And this program provides more control and flexibility over their individual's care. So individuals electing to utilize the CDC Plus as their preferred pathway to services, they become employers and manage their own supports, resources, and care. Through this program, CDC Plus consumers are empowered to choose their own pathways. Consumers enrolled in the iBudget waiver who choose the consumer-directed care have more choice, flexibility, and control over their care. CDC Plus consumers exchange their current approved iBudget Florida waiver cost plan amount for a smaller budget that has greater flexibility. Individuals have more choice and control over their care. Now, the key components for the CDC Plus program are participant empowerment, meaning that individuals are empowered to make decisions pertaining to their supports and have the flexibility to determine, choose, and pay for services through a monthly budget. Choice of service provider, meaning that the program provides individuals the benefits such as the ability to select providers who are not on the Medicaid network and the ability to customize services to meeting individual care and goals. These individuals can hire, for example, family members, neighbors, friends to be their service providers. Also, supports. A trained consumer-directed Care Plus consultant is always available to provide guidance and assistance. The CDC Plus consultant is a waiver support coordinator who has received additional training and can assist the person in the best ways or how to control their services and be successful at the CDC Plus program. And finally, management options. Participants can choose to manage the program on their own, or they can appoint a representative to assist in managing their budget and help to make decisions regarding their care. For additional information, you can go to our website, and the link is provided on this slide. The Florida Unique Abilities Partner Program recognizes businesses and organizations that are committed to providing employment, career, and financial opportunities to individuals with unique abilities. Businesses, including private sector partners and community organizations that participate, have a demonstrated track record of strengthening communities and the economy through an intentional focus on connecting with the talent pipeline that is individuals with disabilities. This focus has spurred opportunities and results for Floridians with disabilities to achieve their goals and drive greater independence, community engagement, and much more. In return, entities participating in the program are met with enriched workplace cultures, operational efficiencies, and strengthening of their overall bottom line. The Florida Unique Abilities Partner Program is designed with individuals with disabilities in mind and is continuously reevaluating and evolving to meet their needs of job seekers and job creators. Okay, next slide. The Hope Florida program. This is another way that APD is able to serve individuals with disabilities. And it is not just individuals with developmental disabilities. This program is available to any person who has a disability, and we have APD navigators to assist them through this program. What we have been doing is we've been engaging in proactive outreach to individuals in pre-enrollment categories to offer assistance. The Hope Florida program is for any individual in Florida, and this program will partner with anyone who has a disability in meeting their goals and remove barriers to meet their potential. This program was spearheaded by First Lady DeSantis and utilizes Hope Navigators to guide individuals on an individualized path to prosperity, self-sufficiency, and hope by focusing on community collaboration between the private sector, the faith-based community, nonprofits, and government entities to break down traditional community silos to maximize resources and uncover opportunities. And so this concludes our prepared PowerPoint, and we would like to open it up to any questions that the audience may have at this time. And if we don't have a lot of questions, we'll be happy to address any questions individuals may have. Our contact information is on the slide. It's right now on the screen, and we'll be happy to address any questions anyone may have.
Thank you guys so much. We do have a couple people here. Does anybody have any questions that they would like answered? All right, we have a question. No said no, and said no in the chat. It's all, so no questions are coming through. So I think that it was very informative. Thank you guys so much. Very helpful.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
Have a great evening.
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.